you considered the messages your outfits send? What do you think your clothes say about you? See, style is about the clothes, but it's not really about the clothes. Every day you make choices about what you're going to wear, but what are you communicating? Welcome to Above and Beyond Style. I'm your host, Maria DiLorenzo, and in 2019, I founded MFD Style, where I provide a unique, intuitive approach to personal styling for those ready to embrace a more meaningful look. With this podcast, I'll uncover key elements of where spirituality, psychology, and style intersect, revealing how you can make intentional wardrobe choices that reflect who you really are. So let me ask you, are you ready to transform into your authentic self? Then it's time. Come with me on this journey, and together we'll take your style above and beyond style. Well, hey friends, welcome back to Above and Beyond Style. Super fun to be back with you for season 5, where we are talking all about small ideas for big style impact, or maybe even just like unlocking your own authentic style. As I've mentioned before in some of the earlier episodes, the number 5 has really come to mean big change energy, ways that you might take the right next step. And for us, as we're thinking about our style and trying to play around with maybe some new ideas, I often feel a little overwhelmed by taking the large steps, the sort of big transformational steps in style. And I know many of my clients have felt that similarly too. So sometimes the small steps, the little things that we could do that might actually help draw us closer to what our authentic style is may be a better approach. And that's why this season has been really fun and really exciting for me to be able to sort of play with this concept of what is something small or new that maybe you haven't tried before that you could experiment with to see if this might get you a little closer to unlocking a style preference, a choice, something that feels really good on your body and in your life. So today's topic is, again, these are not perhaps like novel or new, but they are ones that I kind of fall back on time and time again. And I feel that are important to sort of share and try out for those of you who might be looking for some new style inspiration. So today's topic has to do with styling in threes, or the third piece. When I was, it was probably a good 15, almost 17 years ago, I had gotten a new job, a little part-time job at Nordstrom. And in this position, it was really fun because it was one of my first real retail jobs. I had worked at Anthropologie before and mostly had just been working in the fitting room or doing, straightening on the floor, not really doing as much firsthand styling as I was just customer service. So when I started to work at Nordstrom, it gave me an opportunity to really start to see and play with this concept of styling and working with clients more one-on-one and kind of on hand. And if you've ever worked in the retail business, this is not a new trick, and it's certainly not anything that I think has, maybe it's evolved over the years, but when I first started, one of the kind of quote unquote rules for when you were working a shift at Nordstrom is you had to wear 3 pieces. So I'm going to talk to you about this concept of 3 pieces because in many ways it conceptually helps finish an outfit or make an outfit feel whole or complete. And I often think that this little style rule, even though I'm not a big rules person, but I think this style guidance perhaps has been something that's been really helpful to me in the past as I've been thinking about. Maybe you've seen these trends on TikTok or on social media around wearing something and then styling something. And so the concept of styling an outfit can really be transformed by way of this sort of third piece rule or this third piece guidance. And so today I thought I would talk to you a little bit about 5, using the number 5 third pieces that I often refer to or suggest to my clients when we're trying to really complete an outfit or make it feel more cohesive. And in some ways, this is where some personality and some of that your own flair and style can come out with a really basic outfit. And I think these are the opportunities when you're in that headspace about, gosh, I'm just wearing a t-shirt and jeans. Like, how can I make this one feel a bit more special or more fun, but also more like you? And I think that's one of the fun parts about style and wardrobe, is learning to tap into what some of these behaviors or manifestations or demonstrations of your own personal style might look like. And the third piece can often be the place where you can have a little fun and you can certainly do some experimenting. And I happen to think it's a relatively easy, small next step. That if you're looking to elevate your style, if you're looking to finesse your style, if you're looking to just kind of unlock a little bit more about your own personal style, I often think these third pieces can be the trick to helping you get more acclimated or just more interested in what might serve you for that third piece. So let's start with number one. The first is perhaps no surprise to you, but has to do with jewelry. And I think if you're not someone who has lended yourself to wearing more accessories or in that space around jewelry, this could be perhaps a larger step. And I recognize that it could be something that might feel a little bit outside of your norm, but I do think it has a lot of room for experimentation and perhaps even at a lower cost if you were looking to sort of try it out with some new fun pieces. So jewelry can be a really easy way to transform an outfit or make something relatively simple be very different. And I've talked in previous episodes when Missy and I were chatting a little bit about her experience with her jumpsuits, where she was traveling to a conference and she was wearing two very similar jumpsuits. And we were able to talk about how to transform the look just by changing up her jewelry and really giving her kind of freshness and that special flair that she was looking for just by changing that up. So some things to kind of consider or think about. Statement necklaces, for example, have had sort of their first run around like 2011, 2012, and they're starting a little bit more of a resurgence again, as if you're not surprised that once was, the old is now new, and that we're all kind of in this cycle of bringing back either 80s, 90s, or even the early 2000s style. And I think one of the things about statement necklaces is to really play with proportion and the size of the item that you're wearing around your neck. So if you're not really up for the big kind of costume jewelry, those sort of faux gems, or the look of those like larger, vibrant colored circles or enamel, like if that's not really your jam, I would really suggest looking at playing with perhaps more classic styles, like a chain necklace or a pearl necklace. But what we're seeing now more in the contemporary style is the proportion size of those is being played with. So I'm seeing a lot more of those like chunky pearl necklaces, maybe that graduated size of pearls, certainly the big chain necklaces that are chunky and thick, but they're playing around with different metals and mixing metals and gold and silver. Don't be afraid to wear your gold and silver together. So I think some of these things can be a real statement while still sort of leaning relatively classic or traditional, if you will, without having to kind of take that stronger departure toward the old school. When you think of statement necklace, I think of those like big bauble necklaces from J. Crew that maybe you're not quite ready to go back to, but you're sort of feeling that urge towards wearing something with a little bit more of a statement, maybe a little bit of color if you like to play with color. Seeing a lot of return of like, now that we're going into the spring and summer where we're recording this episode now, the return of like woven and organic and wooden sort of pieces are very much in the mainstream again. So if you're looking for that more natural vibe, a little bit more, tonal, earthy, all of that are great ways that you could experiment with sort of a statement necklace that's being a little bit bigger and bolder without being quite so big and bold. The other thing too is to play around with earrings. Certainly in the summertime, it's a fun opportunity to wear a really classic, perhaps like a white dress, but you're wearing a really fun statement earring, like the raffia, the woven fabrics that we're seeing now in the mainstream. The other piece that I really love, and I often tell my clients, especially when you're looking to make sort of a statement or to have something feel a little bit more classy or edgy even, is to invest in a really cool cuff bracelet. That doesn't mean it has to only be of a metal. Certainly it could be gold or silver, but you could also, again, because of all these natural fabrics coming back, you can think about doing something in a woven or a raffia, again, wooden bracelets stacked, like really playing around with some proportions in those pieces too could be great. A good cuff bracelet for me, I've had mine for well over 10 years, is just a very thin, almost like hammered metal gold cuff that I find myself reaching for quite a bit because it just sort of completes a look and helps it feel a bit more classy. These bracelets, whether you're stacking bracelets, maybe you're wearing a bunch of bracelets all collected together. Maybe you know of the Buddha Girl bracelets, which are these like waterproof. I don't even know, they're made of some sort of plastic material. They're very lightweight, but they come in really fun colors, including like your classic colors around kind of a gold or a platinum or rose gold. And they sell them in groups of like 5, 7, or 9. And so you can just wear this big, fun, cool stack. So bracelets have a great way, like all jewelry in many ways, in my opinion, to help kind of just set the tone of an outfit. So again, if you're just basically wearing a t-shirt, some pair of jeans, a classic dress, ways to sort of play and shake it up and maybe give yourself a little bit more of that experimentation vibe would be to play around with some of these jewelry pieces. Number 2, the third piece that I often feel really drawn to just because I really enjoy dressing in layers is to wear literally a third piece. So if I'm wearing some sort of top and bottom, so if I'm in a t-shirt or a pair of jeans, the third piece could be a blazer, a vest, or some kind of jacket that I'm able to wear over and on top. And I think there are so many different ways that you can experiment within this style concept that really the world is your oyster. If you wanted to do something that was really fun and patterned, all these quilted jackets are kind of back in with all these like patchwork sort of designs. I'm also seeing like the return of the classic military blazer where you're seeing these great, classic shapes with the gold buttons and the like epaulettes and all the various like style features around kind of a utilitarian military vibe. Like you have so many different options when it comes to whatever the third piece is that I think you can really have fun with it. You could see yourself in a lot of different looks and a lot of different shapes and colors and fits. Today we're seeing a lot more of the like oversized blazer as we're returning with that like 90s minimalism. So if you're wearing a slightly like straight leg or slightly baggier leg jean with a fitted tee, the oversized blazer tends to be something that a lot of people are reaching for. So it's a really fun and easy way to put on that third piece and to feel like, this sort of completes the outfit and, as I said, gives you a bit more personality. Now, if you live in a warmer climate, you might not really be inclined to wearing a third piece, especially as the temperatures are rising, which is why I often say like a lightweight vest can serve a great third piece. So if it's in linen or even that crocheted kind of open knit that we're seeing now more and more, that could be a great option for you to toss on. But as we then transition into the third piece, this might help those of you that live in those warmer climates. The oversized button-down shirt is everywhere right now. Like I am seeing it in so many different colors, shapes, fabrics. It's really a fun piece that certainly has a lot of multi-purpose function in a wardrobe, from wearing it as is, classic button down, to maybe even wearing it as the third piece. So if you are wearing a swimsuit or a tank top, that having this like lightweight, oversized shirt, button down shirt, that you could maybe knot in the front, roll up the sleeves, leave open, maybe you tie it up. Like there's a lot of different fun ways that you could utilize that shirt as your third piece. And because it comes in so many new great fabrics, like a lightweight cotton or linen, it is a perfect third piece to throw on without adding extra weight. And I really love the idea of like a monochromatic vibe when I'm wearing these oversized shirts. So think of like your dad or your husband or your boyfriend's like large white button-down shirt that they would throw on. Like have that, and with a white tee or tank, it just is such a cool vibe with white jeans, a really fun sandal. Like there's lots of different ways to play with that third piece that might help you feel a bit more experimental in your own style. Now, number 4. And this happens to be a personal favorite of mine because I think it probably got passed down in the gene pool because my mom is a fan, but I love belts. Not everybody's a belt person. I get it. We all have our different feelings about our midsection and how we want to either accentuate or not. But I do love that a belt can transform an outfit. Sometimes a shapeless dress or a shapeless look, by adding a belt, create some distinction and just some overall interest to an outfit that might not have been there before. And because belts now come in literally every shape and size, from metal to leather to fabric and woven, like we're seeing it everywhere in all sorts of different ways. But I think a belt is a really fun third piece to be able to play around with, whether or not, again, you're doing it over a dress. I've even loved in the past wearing a blazer, like almost like a wrap style, where you like kind of cross the blazer and then finish the closure. Instead of with the buttons, you use the belt to kind of complete and close the look. Like there are so many fun different ways that belts could be that option for you to play around with. And I think if it's not really your jam, then, like any of these, you could certainly pass. But I would love to see, just experiment, just try out, especially because if you're not a big fan perhaps of the thicker 3 or 4 inch sized belts, the smaller, thinner belts that are maybe like 1/2 inch or 1 inch are everywhere now. And they're around with all these really classic, cool belt buckles, and you're able to kind of wear them tied or cinched in different ways. Like it's just wild to me how much belts have really kind of come back on the scene. And for me, it can be a great third piece to complete an outfit. And number 5 then is one that I think has become like more trendy as the years have gone by, and one that I think functionally actually works super well too. It's crossbody handbags. And we're seeing now more and more, not just the function of a crossbody bag is so easy when you want a hands-free experience when you're out and about in the world, but also because there are so many new fun styles of crossbody bags, especially those bags that were what were once called like fanny packs or belt bags, that you can now wear with extended belt sizes or the strap size, that you could actually wear like over your shoulder across your chest. This has become a very big trend and a really cool one because of all the different options that are out there now. You're seeing these bags, many that are in faux or real leather. You can see them in all the different fabrics, but they have these like jewelry-like straps almost, where you're seeing like enameled chain link or canvas with various patterns like checkers and stripes. Like all of these different aspects of this crossbody bag could really be your third piece, because if you're just wearing, again, a really basic outfit like a top and a pair of pants, that crossbody bag then kind of completes the look by adding a little flair, a little something fun, and certainly some personality. One of my favorite brands that does this bag particularly well is Claire V. She is a designer out of California with a little Parisian and French influence, and she has made so many beautiful bags, mostly leather, that have these amazing cool straps that can be interchanged among all of the different bags. And oftentimes now she's showing them layered, where you can wear 1 and 2 together so that they kind of look even funkier and more cool, and again, serve almost like a piece of jewelry. So I think if you're looking for a great third piece, I hope one of these 5 examples can help you start to imagine how a very classic look, if you feel like your look is perhaps very traditional or standard and maybe even a little blah, a way to kind of take a small step, a small departure would be to try to use this third piece as a way to insert some personality, some style, some flair, something new and creative that is more representative of you. So again, let's just review. The 5 third pieces that I would suggest are some sort of statement jewelry, necklace, earrings, a great cuff or bracelet, a blazer, vest, or jacket, something that you could wear as like an overpiece, an oversized button-down shirt that could be long sleeve or short sleeve, any kind of belt you might imagine that could really find any kind of personality or fun in your style. And lastly, the crossbody handbag, or to go as far as moving the belt bag over your body in that crossbody style. So those 5 third pieces have served me well. They've served my clients well. I think they've been a really easy way to, as I said, experiment. And I'd love to hear if you have any great third piece items that you tend to find yourself drawn to that maybe I haven't listed here before. I'd love to hear it. So send me a message. Let me know what third piece really resonates for you and see if this could be a great next step for your own style and for you to play with something new, unique, and a little bit more like yourself. So everyone, have a great week. Thanks so much for listening and tuning in, and I will see you again soon. Thanks so much for listening today. If you enjoyed what you've heard, I would appreciate you taking the time to leave a review on the podcasting platform you're using and share this episode with others who you think might really enjoy these conversations about personal style. For more information all about MFD Style services, you can find me on the web at mfdstyle.com, on Instagram at mfd_style, where I post almost 5 days a week, or send me an email at maria@mfdstyle.com. I also have a weekly email I send to subscribers, so I will include the link to that sign up in the show notes. So until next time, friends, remember to love yourself and then love yourself some more.